organic, unpredictable, unknown, lovely, beautiful, a sense of fulfillment. This is part of the pleasures of life and not the chores of life.
Here's what's just ahead tonight on Daily Iowan TV. Speaking out on sexual assault, learn more about the UI's plan to survey students next.
And a new store in downtown Iowa City is letting customers display their original work, coming up later on Daily Iowan TV.
Iowa football dominated once again this weekend.
Find out in sports who finally got to play an effective part of overcoming an injury.
All of that and more coming up.
Daily Iowan TV starts now.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Alana Neal.
And I'm Kelsey Stanger.
Slater Hall residents were woken up early Saturday morning, not from their alarm clocks, but from the fire alarm. The entire building was evacuated after the fire broke out on the 9th floor. The sprinklers were turned on and put the fire out in little over 5 minutes. The building has water damage on multiple floors and a small amount of smoke damage. The cause of the fire was unintentional and damage costs are still being estimated.
President Bruce Harreld begins his new position this upcoming Monday. Harreld said that at first he didn't want the position, but now is very passionate about the university and leading it into a new direction. The Board of Regents' selection of Harreld as president has been a huge point of contention with the public because some believe that he was pre-chosen even before the hiring process began. It has been released that Harreld visited the campus before the presidential search began, but Harreld visited even earlier than previously reported. Harreld met with the Board of Regents in early June in Cedar Rapids. Daily Iowan TV has an exclusive interview with President Harreld and will air on Monday's edition. Tune in to find out more.
You may recall hearing earlier this academic year that nearly 1 in 10 students at Iowa State University experienced sexual assault, but you didn't hear about any data from the University of Iowa. That's because the UI opted against using the survey that, like most Iowa State, many institutions across the nation use to poll students about the hot campus topic. Daily Iowan TV's Megan Sanchez sat down with one university official who explains why the UI chose a different route.
Speak Out Iowa. Hawkeyes across campus are being encouraged to do just that when it comes to sexual assault. The Association of American Universities offered a survey to help gauge campus culture around this topic. But the University of Iowa chose to go their own route. Vice President of Student Life Tom Rockland explained that cost and time frame made the AAU survey a less than ideal match for the UI.
My really biggest concern was the timeline. They were going to do it very rapidly. We weren't going to have a lot of time to discuss it on campus, and they planned to administer it after spring break. As it turned out, during that time, a new survey was developed called the ARC3. The AAU cost about $100,000 to do. The ARC3 is freely available.
Signs and flyers like these are placed all across campus, encouraging students to take the survey. Rockland said around 1,000 students had taken the survey by the end of last week, and he hopes to hear from more.
That's exactly what we want students to do, is to speak up. This is an issue that doesn't get talked about enough, and this is an avenue where students can anonymously, so without fear of what might happen when they speak up, they get to speak up.
Reporting from the University of Iowa, this is Megan Sanchez, Daily Iowan TV.
The Women's Resource and Action Center is in for a big change. The center has been located across from the IMU on North Madison Street for almost 40 years, but because of maintenance problems, they will be relocating to the Bauman House across from Dom Residence Hall. The Board of Regents recently approved the UI's request to demolish the 123-year-old house in summer of 2016. Bauman House is being renovated in preparation for the move to provide more space for the center and its programs.
10 GOP presidential hopefuls had the chance to share their pitches over this weekend in Des Moines at the first ever Growth and Opportunity Party. The room was filled with over 2,000 Republican activists who each got the chance to listen to their favorite candidates speak before the upcoming caucus on February 1st. Those in attendance also were able to go through Hillary's haunted house. It was filled with areas that made jokes jokes about the Democratic candidates and gave audience members a chance to vote for their scariest Democrat. For a full recap of the event, you can check out the Daily Iowans website, dailyiowan.com.
One organization is trying to get more representation at the polls in the upcoming caucus. The League of United Latin American Citizens is hoping to get more Latino Iowans to come out and cast their vote. The group is creating an outreach and education program with a goal of getting 10,000 to 20,000 Latino Iowans to show up to the polls. Over $300,000 is being used to advertise and recruit these voters. Some of the group's main issues they want to address are immigration reform and economic opportunities for Latino Americans.
Well, Kelsey, it was quite rainy this Halloween weekend.
It sure was. Let's toss it over to Casey Lindekrantz in the weather studio.
Today's weather has been a great start to November, and you can expect much of the same throughout most of the coming week. Monday morning is looking to be in the upper 40s with clear skies. Moving to the afternoon, it will heat up to the mid-60s. Continuing to the evening, temps should be cool down to the mid-40s and skies will stay clear. Looking to the rest of the week, Tuesday and Wednesday should be both clear and highs will be in the low 70s and lows will be in the mid-50s. Thursday, you can expect to see some rain in the forecast and highs should be in the mid-60s with lows in the low 40s. Finishing out the week, Friday should be partly cloudy and game day will be clear. Both days we will see highs in the low 50s and lows in the mid to low 30s. Well, that's all I have in the weather studio. Back to you guys at the desk.
A Halloween prank caused an Iowa City school to heighten security. Last Friday, Longfellow School was told by a parent that a home was broken into right next to the school. Staff immediately was notified and students were taken into the building as a part of the school's security measures. Police arrived on the scene shortly and after looking into the incident said it was all a Halloween prank. The students were in no immediate danger. No charges will be filed for the prank.
One local jewelry making shop in downtown Iowa City opened its door on Saturday, allowing customers to display their masterpieces. Katie Sextro has more.
A shop in downtown Iowa City called Beadology contains beads from all around the world, tools for jewelry making, finished handmade jewelry, and more. As you can see, Beadology sells many different types of materials needed to make your own jewelry. But if you're having trouble doing that on your own, they offer classes to help with that as well.
We do basic classes so people who don't know anything about jewelry making can have a beginning and learn how to finish things professionally so that they are secure, but we also like things to be pretty. So we like security and aesthetics together, and so that's what we teach.
Along with those basic classes, Beadology also offers more advanced sessions for people who have more experience in jewelry making. And some of those skilled artists came to Beadology Saturday for the store's customer trunk show. The selected individuals came to exhibit their handmade items such as necklaces, earrings, bracelets, and other unique items. They even continued to demonstrate their talents throughout the show.
It's also just really rewarding to have something physical to show for like your work, like what you've done, the time that you've spent, the effort you put in. You have something tangible, something fun to look at, something like linked to you.
Our business plan is really, a strong part of it is that the finished jewelry is work that's produced in-house. We can guarantee it, we understand the materials, the workpersonship on it, the artistry of it. What that did was leave out a lot of our customers being able to sell their work that is really interesting. So a way we could maintain our business model but expand to allow our customers to show off and sell their work is to do a short-term customer show so people could come in and view their work, purchase it if they chose.
Katie Sextro, Daily Iowan TV.
Classes range from $58 to $98, which includes materials to make your own jewelry. Beadology also hosts free workshops every Thursday of the month from 6 to 7 p.m. With another amazing win in Kinnick Stadium this weekend, let's catch up with everything sports with Ashlyn and Alyssa.
It was a cold and rainy kickoff on Saturday afternoon inside Kinnick Stadium.
The rain did hold off, though, for most of this Big Ten Conference battle between Iowa and Maryland.
It was a tale of two halves for both Maryland and Iowa.
Football reporter Ian Murphy tells us why with the highlights. Ian?
Maryland was never quite in contention, but the Terrapins might have raised the Hawkeyes' heart rate late in the game. However, Iowa came away with a 31-15 victory to move to 8-0 on the season Saturday night. The Hawkeyes got ahead early and held on to the lead thanks in large part to their stable of effective running backs, even without number 1 back Jordan Canzeri. A fumble by Maryland's Brandon Ross set up a 1-yard touchdown run by LaShawn Daniels Jr., who himself returned from an injury to give the Hawkeyes a 7-0 lead. After Tavon Smith drew a pass interference call, Akram Wadley punched the ball in from 11 yards out midway through the second quarter to give the Hawkeyes a 14-0 lead. Punting out of their own end zone, Maryland gave the Hawkeyes great field position after Nicholas Pritchard's poor punt. The Hawkeyes would capitalize just a few plays later as Derek Mitchell punched the ball in from 1 yard out. It was Mitchell's only carry of the game, but it did give all 3 running backs on the Hawkeye depth chart a touchdown. And late in the second half, down 24-7, but driving, Maryland learned what most Iowa opponents have this season: don't throw at the king. Desmond King took Perry Hill's pass 88 yards the other way for a touchdown. It was King's 7th interception of the season, tied for the most in the country. With a 31-7 lead, the Hawkeyes perhaps got their biggest scare when dangerous return man William Likely took the ball back all the way for a touchdown. It exposed a larger problem on the Hawkeyes' special teams as Marshall Kane had already made 2 tackles on kick returns in the game. The Hawkeyes will take on Indiana next weekend in Bloomington, looking for their first 9-0 start since 2009. For Daily Iowan TV Sports, I'm Ian Murphy.
There was one specific running back who contributed to that 31 points for Iowa.
It's been a long first half of the season for this player, and a comeback was overly due. Taylor Brooks has more.
Overcoming an injury for any player is something you must do mentally and physically. And for Iowa running back LaShawn Daniels Jr., he came into Saturday's game against Maryland looking for that mental and physical push. And Daniels got exactly that with a touchdown to go along with it. The key to Daniels' recovery came down to patience.
I mean, you always want to go out there and play. You always want to go out and contribute to the team, but sometimes it might not be in the best interest of yourself and also the team. So I had to learn to be patient. Go through treatment and stuff like that until my ankle was completely right.
A trait well learned by the junior, but Daniels was always rooting from the sidelines.
We're always pulling for one another, and to see them go out and make plays like that, it gives me a confidence boost, gives everyone a confidence boost.
Daniels shined against Maryland, grabbing his first career touchdown of the season and his second of his career.
Certainly one of the best things I saw. It looked like LaShawn was back to being LaShawn Daniels again, and we haven't seen that in a while, so that was really refreshing.
Daniels wasn't the only running back with a touchdown. Derek Mitchell Jr. and Akram Wadley showed how deep Iowa's backs are by each scoring a touchdown.
Hopefully Akram's on the upward path now. Seems like he's practicing really well and concentrating the way you hope. Derek Mitchell, again, it's kind of the wild card, but it looks like he's really moving along too. So, it's all good. We'll never have too many weapons, I know that.
There was still one missing though. Senior Jordan Canzeri sadly wasn't in the mix on Saturday, but stayed heavily involved from the sideline. Jordan Canzeri is still questionable as he wasn't dressed at all against Maryland, but once he returns, Iowa could have 4 deadly running backs. Reporting inside Kinnick Stadium, Taylor Brooks, Daily Iowan TV Sports.
As the Big Ten schedule will continue for Iowa, nothing gets easier from here on out.
Especially when they head to Indiana next weekend.
With Iowa's win, it kept them secured at number 10 in the AP Top 25 college football poll.
But Week 10 will be an interesting one, especially for number 1, Ohio State.
That's right, Ashlyn. Their starting quarterback, JT Barrett, has been suspended 1 game due to an arrest on a DUI charge late Friday night.
No, that's not good for Ohio State. But that will do it for Alyssa and I on this Sunday edition of 5th Quarter. Back to you guys at the desk.
That's all we have for you tonight on Daily Iowan TV.
Be sure to check out our website, dailyiowan.com, for all the latest news between now and Sunday. For Daily Iowan TV, I'm Kelsey Sanger.
And I'm Milana Neal. Have a good night.
Can't pick up a copy of the Daily Iowan? Are you worried about how you're going to find out about the latest news in Iowa City and the University of Iowa? Well, look no further. You can download the Daily Iowan mobile app on your iPhone for the area's best news coverage. And you can also read and watch us on your iPad. You can always find current and past Daily Iowan stories at dailyiowan.com. The Daily Iowan is now on TV, online, and in your pocket. If it happens, it's news to us.